Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's video. This week is part 2 of a project I started in January. So you might remember in January I started the project and had part 1 of this video series. This is part 2 and the final part to the Black Walnut Resin Pour. You guys voted on what you wanted the project to be, whether it be a serving tray, an art piece, and any other ideas that you guys had, and you definitely shared those, so thank you. I have to say it was pretty much a mix. The votes were a mix between a serving tray and an art piece. So stick around until the end and see what it became. And the first couple minutes of the video is just a recap of part 1 in case you missed it. And just because it wasn't back to back in the weeks, just a couple minutes of sort of a rewind to see how we got where we are now. And the rest is new stuff after that. So if you haven't already, please click the subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. It helps my channel. Comment, like, share. It helps the YouTube algorithm and gets the videos in front of more people. So if you like it and you think it's deserving, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment, a like, and share. So here is the pour itself, which was in part 1. So I did the pour in 2 pours. I used Total Boat 6 set, and this is the first pour, and I'm trying to get just a little more height on that for it to come up to the edges so I can get as much thickness from the piece as possible. Trying to make a design in the resin there, and this is taking it out of the mold. And seeing what it looks like. I was pretty happy with it. And now we'll get on to making something. First step after taking it out of the mold is running it through the planer a few times. Again, trying to take light passes so I can save as much as the thickness as possible. Using a square here to draw a straight line. I don't have a table saw, and the bandsaw doesn't make perfectly straight cuts. And so I used a straight line and used a piece of melamine as a guide. And this is the router with the flush trim bit. Here I'm going to use the router to, with the roundover bit, to round over the edges. I was going to use a chamfer bit, but it was difficult to get a good cut with this small router. I need to get a router table. If anyone has one and then has any recommendations for me, I'm in the market for a router table, so let me know what you guys have, what you like, what you don't like. Finishing up the sides with the roundover bit. After using the roundover bit and the air hose here, I get the sander, which I don't film, and just soften the edges a little bit. Sanding starting at 600 grit. As I said, the sanding, the bulk of it was done off camera. Sanded from 100 to 400 grit off camera, and then wet sanded all the way up to 2500 grit. And these higher sanding pads really were just for the epoxy resin, not for the wood. So after all the sanding is done, and I used the air hose to get any remaining dust off of the piece, I use the Osmo Wood Wax Finish. It's the clear extra thin 1101. First time I've used it, but I would highly recommend it. It came out nice, as I hope you'll see soon. So putting it on in a thin coat, one thin coat, and letting it sit for about 30 minutes, and then wiping off the excess. And wiping off the excess Osmo here after it sat for 20 minutes. And you can see even before wiping it off how the satin Osmo really makes the grain pop on the black walnut, and gives a good coat to the resin as well. This is kind of a better shot here to really see the grain in the black walnut and the epoxy too. Just wiping the remaining Osmo off here. It's very smooth. And the contrast between the resin and the black walnut, I think I chose the right color, although any color probably would have looked good with this black walnut, but the blue really, really stands out, but does not take away from the black walnut. So stick around until the end. We're almost there, and you will see some photos of what this piece became. Did it become a serving tray? Did it become an art piece? Did it become something else? See what I do with it. Don't fast forward, please. Don't cheat and look ahead. Giving you up close of the piece here. And the winning votes were an art piece. Thank you to everyone who participated. It was really fun hearing what you had to say and seeing what you guys thought it should be. So about half of you should be clapping, half of you should be disappointed that it's not a serving tray. It would have been great as both. So thanks again for watching. I really, really appreciate it. Thumbs up, like, share, subscribe. Until next week, peace out.